Go ahead and get started. Alright, for those of you who don't know, my name is Peter Cutterman, Supervisor of Elections for Student Government.
My name is Samantha League, and I'm the Assistant Managing Editor and News Editor for Eagle News.
And welcome to the 2011 presidential and vice presidential debate. On the left hand, these are our two parties in alphabetical order. On the left hand side is the Eagle Party. And on the right hand side is the Focus Party. Basically how it's going to work is we have a list of questions we're going to ask, and it's going to go in between each party. It's going to switch each time. And right now we're going to start with party introductions and personal leadership style with the Eagle Party.
Yeah!
Hello. Hi everyone, I am Jordan Lacrosse. I am running for president with the Eagle Party. I just want to let everybody know I'm a very open leader. I'm very determined and I'm really excited to lead the way with the Eagle Party.
Hi guys, I'm Cody Conwell. I'm running for vice president of the student body with the Eagle Party. My leadership style is very simple. Student government has one job and one job only, and that's to represent the students and meet their needs. And that's what I'm going to do as student body vice president.
And the Focus Party.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Schutz. I'm running for student body president under the Focus Party. I believe that my personal leadership style involves advising and supporting all those who are working with us and running with us, and constantly being open and available for the students.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Justin Carter. I am running as the vice presidential candidate under the Focus Party. My personal leadership style is one of empowerment. I feel if we are able to give students and leaders the support to do whatever it is that they are comfortable or they want to do, that's where true development and growth happens. So I'm an empowerer.
Alright, thank you guys. Now we'll get started with the questions. You'll have a 2-minute limit for each answer. The first question is, what do you believe your party brings to the table that is unique? Focus Party, you go first.
Hi again, everyone.
Hello.
Okay. We believe that our focus is to focus on the students. We want to bring the focus of student government back to the students. We feel like that makes us unique because a lot of times it's easy when we're in student government to get sidetracked on things like administrative issues and politics and all that stuff, and we want to make sure that our constant focus is the students. So we feel like that's what's unique about us.
I would also say we have a wide range of experience I know personally I've been involved in many different aspects of campus involvement and leadership, from orientation to resident housing to sports club involvement. So that experience will give us the knowledge and the know-how to effectively lead our student body.
As your president, I refuse to sit in an office. I'm going to be out on campus. The Eagle Party is going to be out on the campus. We represent the average student, every Eagle on this campus. We want to make sure that we are representing your voice, not just our own personal opinions, but what every single student on this campus views and what their actual concerns are.
Thank you, Jordan. In addition, we want to make sure we represent every single student, not just the ones that are already involved, not just the majority, every single student. One thing we're interested in doing as the Eagle Party is adding a cabinet position that represents commuter and non-traditional students. I think that's really important, and they're underrepresented right now in our student government. Additionally, one thing that our university is very in need of, and the Eagle Party is going to bring and hasn't been here before, is a college town feel. On our platform card, one of our main initiatives is partnering with Alico Incorporated, who owns the Alico West land development site right now. They are going to develop it as a mixed-use site for college students, restaurants, nightclubs, bars, housing, things like that, that are really going to bring that college town feel to FGCU. That's what we're going to focus on as the Eagle Party, and that's what we're going to do when we're voted into office. Thank you.
What do you think the biggest concern is of the student body at FGCU, starting with the Eagle Party?
There are a lot of concerns, but I believe one of the biggest concerns is the lack of resources right now for the students on campus. We're growing very, very fast, and this is wonderful. This is great. But as we continue to grow, we're lacking resources. This is the first time that I talk to students every single day. I've been doing this for over a year, and this is the first time I've talked to students, and they say that they've had a wait in the health services. This is the first time that I'm hearing students say this. Before my freshman year, you're in 20 minutes, you're out. So that's a problem. That our health department can't support our student population right now. Same with our RT department. We're constantly talking about, golf flying. It's an issue that we do not have the resources for our growing student population. Same with athletics. All of our departments right now are under-resourced. That is our biggest concern, and this is what we're going to make sure we take care of.
Okay. We feel that the biggest concern right now that students feel is having that large university feel. And we want to be different. We're Florida Gulf Coast University. We bring something different to the table than all other universities. But we still want to provide students with that school spirit and the spirit that they need to be Eagles. And so we want to, a lot of our platform initiatives revolve around making this university, taking it to the next level, and providing students with the things that they need to grow as students and to make this university grow along with it. And we feel as though a lot of our platform initiatives, like providing transportation to away games and that kind of stuff, will provide students with the resources that they do need to feel like they're at home here at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Okay, how do you plan on bringing the legislative, executive, and judicial branches together, starting with the Focus Party?
A large part of the Focus Party's campaign and bringing the focus back to you as students is to bridge that gap. One of the things that we've talked about is creating a newsletter. This will be a monthly published document that will be from the President, Vice President, as well as the Supreme Court Justice and the Senate President, and having these monthly newsletters come out so students are informed about what's going on. And I think that just that open that lines of communication will do student government a great justice.
On our platform, it's broken up into 5 different areas that we want to focus on. And all of those areas are taken from our university mission statement as well as our student government statement. And the last one on mission statement, sorry. And then the last one on there is focus on bridging the gap. Bridging the gap is part of our student government mission statement. That is a line in our student government mission statement. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to bridge that gap. Not just between student government and the students, but within student government as well. So like Justin said, we want to provide students with newsletters, everything that we can to show them that we are one student government and that we're working together to better this university for them.
It's absolutely vital that the student government branches work together. If they're not able to work together, then they're not able to serve the student body the way that they need to be doing. Right now, a lot of students don't know about the 3 branches of government. They're just simply not educated on what positions are open, how to get involved. They don't even know the judicial branch exists. I start talking about cabinet positions, they have no idea what I'm talking about. They just don't know it's there. So educating the students, letting them know what's going on. The newsletter is a great idea. We also have, on our platform card, you'll notice we have something called a town hall meeting, which we want to get started, which it's not just an opportunity for Senate, like they have the Senate meetings, we'll have every single branch of government represented, where any student, member of the community, RSO leaders can come, voice their concerns, and have a very candid, open conversation with their student government representatives. This town hall meeting is just going to be a great opportunity for them to learn about student government, learn who their representatives are, and just have their opportunity to really speak their voice.
And I'll just extend upon that a little bit. I've talked to a lot of students today and in the past about student government, and frankly, a lot of them don't even know that it exists, don't know what it is or what it does. The Eagle Party is going to change that. I tell them how much money student government spends a year, and they're shocked. We need to have student government leaders who work together and are on the same page. You need to be able to go to the Chief Justice and ask him about any of the branches of student government, and he will tell you the exact same thing as if you went to student body president or Senate president. All the leaders of all branches of our government, need to be on the same page and working together for the students.
Starting with the Eagle Party, what is your definition of a student representative?
The definition of a student representative is someone that puts the students first, absolutely first. Student, the very first word in student government, student representative. You are focusing on yourself. If you are out of touch with what the students need, you are not doing your job. You need to absolutely make sure that you're putting the students first, and that is your #1 goal.
And furthermore, I think it's important to remember as student representatives, particularly in the Senate, that as an elected official, what you say is not the student body's opinion. As an elected official, it is your job to go find out what the student body wants and bring that to the Senate floor. Go out to and find out what the student body wants, bring that to the executive branch. That is your job as a student representative. Frankly, your personal opinions shouldn't matter that much because that's not your job as a student representative.
As student representatives, we feel that it is our #1 job to focus on students' concerns and voice those concerns to everyone. We feel as though it's not just about us. It's about everybody out there. It's about all of the students. It's about all of the Eagles, and we need to represent all of them equally. We're not representing our own opinions. We're representing the student body's opinions. And it also means taking those opinions further, not just keeping them within student government, but taking the students' concerns to administration, taking those concerns to the Florida Student Association, and trying to make the concerns broader known and well voiced so that everybody feels like their voices are being heard and not just a select few people.
Just to add on to that a little bit, I see a student representative is your job to be assertive. That's how I see leadership as a whole. And as previously mentioned, we have to take heed to what our constituents, our students are saying, and make those known to all parties involved. We talked a little bit earlier about the executive, judicial, and the legislative branch, and it's important that the lines of communication is shared and open, so that everyone knows what's going on, and all the students are heard. So at the end of the day, my job as a student representative is to be a servant for the students.
What type of leadership development programs have you been through that you believe qualifies you for these positions, starting with the Focus Party?
As previously mentioned, I've started FG. Well, I didn't mention this already, but I started FGCU summer 2008. When I came here, I wanted to get involved as soon as possible. I was president of the tennis club my first semester in. I also went through the leadership development program, which is done through student government executive branch. I've also had an opportunity to attend many leadership summits put on by our institution. So I've done a great deal of leadership development training. My fraternity has also given me a great opportunity to learn about my own leadership skills and characteristics, and I think that will translate well working with the executive branch and the executive cabinet and working with the students of Florida Gulf Coast University.
I, along with Justin, have been involved since day one here at FGCU. When I first came to campus, I joined the Emerging Leaders Program, which is the leadership development program through student government, and it taught me so much about myself and what kind of leader I wanted to be. And from there, I've been to several leadership programs. I went to the Leadership Academy, which really taught me how to be involved. And after that, I went to the College Leadership Florida with several students here, and it was a blast. And I think that all of these leadership programs have really shaped us into the leaders that we want to be, and shown us that we can take our values and our leadership styles and use them in any way that we can to make this a better campus.
Okay, initially at the university, my leadership started in student government. More recent, as a senator, I represent the College of Business. I've had the opportunity to meet with the Dean of the College of Business, extend the majors and minors that we offer, and better supply the business students with the things that they need. Furthermore, in Greek life as well, I attended from my personal organization a leadership conference. It is actually the largest Greek leadership conference in the country. Beyond that, I now represent the Interfraternity Council here at the university. We recently went up to Atlanta for that conference, which composed many different organizations. So I've had a lot of experience, with particular groups of people, and then with SCIFC, which is many different organizations of people of many different backgrounds, going into that setting, kind of finding out what everyone's about and what's good about each of those individual organizations. And I think that's important because as a leader here at the university, you're going to step into office and start that dialogue with leaders of RSOs, leaders of clubs, and you need to be able to get rid of your own views about how things maybe should be run and see how they do things and how you can help them, because that's your role as a student representative, is to support them in what they're doing.
I'm a very assertive, active, and curious person, so when I came on to FGCU, I really wanted to be a leader right off the bat, but sometimes it just comes to you. I got involved in murals right away, put together a co-ed football team. It sounds kind of funny, but I make sure that I'm a leader in everything that I do, not just here in student government. I make sure that I'm a leader in all sorts of things out of campus also, within my jobs, within my scholarship, everything I do. I'm right now the Director of Communications for Student Government, but I started out as a coordinator and I've moved my way up. I'm also partaking in the RSO Executive Leadership.
Both parties have on their platform specific initiatives. Can you name a few that you believe are your strongest, starting with the Eagle Party?
The very first one on our platform card is to revitalize the student body to fiercely support our FGCU athletics. We're Division I, guys. We have great athletics here at FGCU, amazing. We're just finishing up that transition period. We're going to be able to compete in conferences, and we're going to win. But it's depressing when I go talk to athletes, which I do a lot. I talk to a lot of athletes. We have some athletes on our Senate list, past athletes as well. And they've given up on the student body, in a sense, to attend their games sometimes. That's sad. We're the Eagle Party. We're here to support school spirit, tradition. Start that now. And if we're not going to start with athletes, then we're going to have a problem. So we need to start with those athletes. We need to make sure that we're reaching out to them. It's very important that we bring that unity with the students. We always talk about UF and the bigger schools, so we need to make sure that, we're going to go up to par with them. We're going to rival them. But, if we're going to beat them at something, it's kind of sad if we don't have, an entire FGCU out there supporting them. So we want to really make sure that we start with that.
Thank you, Jordan. I spoke earlier about the Alico West Development Site. That, I think, is a very strong initiative on our platform card, just because, in the words of Alico Incorporated, they want this site to be a geographical focal point for Florida Gulf Coast students. They want this to be our place to go, our college town feel, and that's a big thing that the Eagle Party stands for. So that's a really strong initiative that the Eagle Party is passionate about. Furthermore, going with that college town feel, the Eagle Party is going to initiate the process, if you will, of bringing back Baldy Sports Bar or a similar establishment on our campus. 7 of the 12 state universities have bars on their campus. I know UNF has a bar on their campus. They're similar size to us. Why not us? There's no reason that FGCU should not have a similar place where students can go, have a good time, and build that school spirit.
We feel as though one of the largest parts of our platform that we want to focus on is the focus on student section. We've spent so much time talking to students, figuring out what they want. And if you look, the first thing on our platform is working to construct an on-campus amphitheater. I know it sounds out there, but we've talked with administration, and this is possible. And in our Eagle News question and answer, one of the things we said was that we felt that this university was lacking student-centered space. And this is a space that we want to create for you guys that allows us to host things like programming board events, speakers, all those things that allows us to have a place that we can be proud of, something that we can show to students that, hey, look, this is what we're doing for you. Also on our Focus on Student Needs section, we have using the Eagle ID card for discounts and Eagle dollars. We want, just like the Eagle Party, we want to create this college town feel, and we want to be able to use our Eagle ID cards outside of campus at off-campus locations. And that's one of our big platform items.
And also, as previously mentioned, Eagle tradition and spirit starts in athletics. I've had an opportunity to work with athletics, and I've talked with Denise, who's the marketing director for athletics, and we've had time to brainstorm ideas of ways to increase that school spirit. So that in itself is one of our main focuses as the Focus Party, and we hope that this coming year proves true to that. One of the things that we're going to be establishing is a pretty much like a school spirit bus, which will transport students to away games, as well as pack out our home games. I'm not sure if you know, but our women's athletics basketball team is undefeated.
Okay, I will be asking the next 2 questions. They are from Eagle News. The first question is for the vice presidents only. What is the weakest part of your own platform, starting with the Focus Party?
Interesting. I would say, I would first say off, we took the time to plan our platform accordingly, so I don't think there are any holes in it. I would say one thing that we could do a little bit better is explain in detail how all of these tasks will be accomplished. And I say that not to mean that we have not thought about it, but it's not detailed in the platform. So I think that that's something that that could have been improved upon.
Our initiatives are straight from the students. Jordan, as the Director of Communications, has spent the last year finding out what students want, asking them, what do you need from this university, doing her job, and these are what they say. Some of our initiatives may focus on one demographic more than another. Some of our initiatives may seem a little more impractical than others, but the Eagle Party says, let's find the roadblocks and let's find out how to get over them, how to get around them, and get things done. Because I know in the past, student government has brought up initiatives, brought them to the administration, then the administration may say, well, this is the red tape, this is why we can't do this now, and student government says, oh, okay, let me go tell everybody why we can't do this. That's not going to happen with the Eagle Party. We want to work with the administration, but we will not work for the administration. That's a very important line to draw in the sand, and that will be there with the Eagle Party.
Okay, this next question is for the presidents only. What is the weakest part of your opponent's platform, starting with the Eagle Party?
They've simply spread themselves too thin. Like I said, or like Cody said, I've spent the entire year talking to students, finding out what they want. You need to be fiscally responsible. You need to find out what the students want, find out what the top 10 things are, 10 fifth things are, focus on those. Because it's just not practical to spread yourself too thin. I want to get things done. I don't want to make false promises. I want to make sure I'm following all the codes. And I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be assertive about it. I might say no to the administration every now and then and when it needs to be done. But I'm going to make sure I'm following the rules, and I'm going to make sure I'm getting done things the correct way. I'm going to be focusing on supporting the Eagles on this campus. I'm an Eagle. You're an Eagle. We need to make sure that we're taking care of what you guys want. The top things, making sure they're getting done now, because if we struggle too far out, we're not concentrating on these things, we're gonna lose what we're really here for, what we all really want.
I personally don't feel as though it is my place to attack my opponent's platform. I want to take the opposite route and say that I think that the Eagle Party, as well as the Focus Party, have both created incredible platforms. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And I really, I think that both of us have really strong platforms. So, you're welcome.
This question is for vice presidents. What do you believe FGCU's role is in the Florida Student Association for the following years, and how can we build up FSA's reputation with the Florida legislature? starting with the focus party.
Okay. For those who don't know, FSA is the Florida Student Association, and it is its job to lobby on behalf of all of the students in the state of Florida. I think right now our current administration, President Diaz and Graziani, they've done a fantastic job of laying the foundation for FGCU's role in the Florida Student Association, and so the Focus Party wants to continue that tradition. I've had an opportunity to attend one of the meetings that was hosted here at FGCU, and I had an opportunity to meet with some of the presidents of the institutions around the state of Florida, and I know that there will be a time in which Florida Gulf Coast University will be able to take on the role of chairmanship of this organization. So the Focus Party is committed to ensuring that the students' voices at FGCU are heard at the state level, and we will continue to take those steps to make sure that our voices aren't silenced.
Thank you, Justin. And I have to agree. I think President Diaz and Vice President Graziani have done a great job taking big strides in this past year to make FGCU more vocal in FSA. One, we're going to continue that. FSA is very important on getting students of the Florida State University system, getting their needs met and their voices heard. From talking personally with Jordan, I know that she plans on running for the chair position of FSA. That's a big step. I think it's important. FSA does not need to be a collection of state universities where the large universities wash down the small ones, and we got to kind of do what we can from the bottom. She will run for the top position and take our voice to the state legislature. Furthermore, we'd like to not just influence state legislation through FSA. We want to additionally reach out to local legislatures, state senators near us, go straight to them because they can then take our voice and our opinions straight to the state senate and state government.
What has been your involvement in campus recreation, the programming board, and multicultural services that qualify you to make changes within these organizations, starting with the Eagle Party?
One of the things, I already mentioned how my freshman year, this is actually the first semester I haven't been involved in intramural sports, so it's driving me crazy, but I love it. I love getting involved. It's the one thing I tell freshmen all the time, like, how do I get involved? I don't really take on a leadership role. Join intramurals, meet some new people. But something I had a great time doing this year was participating in Eagle Games. It was something that we started this year, thanks to Michelle Yovanovich. It was her little brainchild, and it's great. It's something that we hope to link with Homecoming, which is something that we have on our platform card, and something that I hope a lot of students really get involved with. By participating in these type of events, the Amazing Race, all these different things on campus, I feel that I have not only participated in them, I've taken leadership roles in them, I've met so many students since day one of my freshman year. I feel like I really can accurately represent them and what they need, and how to just market them more and get more students involved, because the more students we get involved in intramurals, the more students that we get involved in all these different activities on campus, the more they're going to grow and the better they're going to become.
Thank you, Jordan. Additionally, I was also very involved in intramural sports. That's something that I'm passionate about, and Greek life as well, as I previously spoke about. But I think where I've gotten to be in touch with RSOs and clubs and various organizations on campus the most is actually as a senator. You get to see them bring bills through Senate, speak passionately about what they care about, what their clubs need, and then give them that money, give them that funding, whatever our organizations need, because that, again, is the only job of student government, is to give our students what they need. So, thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What has been your involvement in campus recreation, the programming board, and multicultural services that qualify you to make changes within these organizations?
As previously mentioned, when I first came to Florida Gulf Coast University, I immediately got involved with the sports club. I've been an avid tennis player for a very long time. And so that was my first involvement. I sat through the initial, sports club resolution for funding. I helped with that with the 2 administrations previous to that. In addition, I've always been a part of intramurals between my Greek affiliation as well as for personal enjoyment. Another thing I want to touch on is multicultural student services. I think that this is a very important part of FGCU, and I don't think it's been capitalized as much as it could have. And I've had an opportunity to talk with Wong, who's the director for multicultural student services. And one of the things we talked about on our platform is more concrete and collaborative programming. Once I talked to him, he said that that is what is going to bring multicultural student services to the next level, and that's what we tend to do with the Focus Party. Last thing, programming board. My freshman year, I had an opportunity to be involved with that a little bit. It's definitely changed, and we will continue to support the programming board in their separation from student government, but it will definitely be something that we, as the Focus Party, continue to engage with.
When I first walked onto campus, the first thing I did was go to a programming board meeting. I thought that was the place for me, and I couldn't stay in it once I got more involved in student government. But I've been involved in the programming board, and as far as the other organizations, such as multicultural and campus recreation, as Senate President, it's been my job to reach out to those organizations and make sure that we're representing them as students. The items that are on our platform. The items that are on our platform that are in these areas have been discussed with the leaders, such as Amy Swingle and Wong, like Justin mentioned, so we are very confident that we can help make these things happen.
What do you believe the current relationship is between student government officials and student affairs administration? What does your party believe the role should be, and how can you work on attaining this, starting with the Focus Party?
Okay, we believe that the current relationship there is very administrative, in the sense that the current leaders listen to the administration and but then take their own ideas back and are able to transform them into something that the students want. I think that people believe that our student representatives take too much what the administration says, but from personal views, I've been able to see that the student representatives here are for the students, and they're doing everything right. But as the Focus Party, our stance on this is we want to stay focused on the students. We don't want to get sidetracked by administration. We don't want to get sidetracked by politics. We want to stay on focus for the students, by the students. And we feel as though we work with the administration, not against them and not for them. We work with them, and you must work with them to accomplish all the things on our platform items. So we want to work with them, like I said. We don't want to butt heads with them. We don't want to fight them. We don't want to listen to them. Oh, that's not what I meant. Like, I meant we don't want to do everything that they tell us to do. We want to take their ideas and transform them into something that the students want to see.
And just to add on to that, I think it's very important to understand that student government with the Focus Party will not be a puppet for the administration. So we will be prepared and willing to go against administration when we feel that the students' needs aren't being fulfilled. So there will be times in which we will butt heads, but we would like you guys to trust that we, as the Focus Party, will remain true to our mission and focusing on you, the students.
As your student government representatives, I said this before, students first, okay? We work for the students, not for the administration, but it's important to work with the administration at all times so you can help us work towards things. Lowering textbook prices, things like this. You need to remember that you're going to be working with them, not for them, and that's simply put. I completely agree with what the Focus Party is going on, and I think that's a very general idea. You need to make sure that you're working with them, so you're following by the rules, making sure you're going to get things done correctly. But at the same time, you've got to remember, you are working for the students. You can never forget that we are the Eagle Party, and we are working for the Eagles, for the Eagle population here.
Thank you, Joy. And one thing I just want to add is in student government and in our university system, I think it's important to not let politics creep their way in because I know it's easy to, I've seen in student government that it's easy to let that happen. Personally, I'm very new to student government, and I like that about myself. I'm a business student, I'm not a politician. I'm here because I know that student government has a wealth of resources, can do a lot of things on this campus, and I haven't seen it done in the past from the current administration in certain aspects. But I will say that I like what I see from the relationship with the administration right now, but it's important that our voice is heard and strong, and we're not just taking orders from the administration, and that's what the Eagle Party will do for you.
Alright, this question is also from Eagle News. A big concern for many students is the proposed legislation that would allow guns on college campuses. Do you agree or disagree with this legislation, starting with the Eagle Party?
Again, I'll just have to preempt this with that our one and only job is to represent the students. So as far as a student government position on this issue, we need to find out what the students want. I know that it's a very hot topic on a state level. I think that universities need to be a place of learning, and that no student should feel threatened by anything or by any means. I know on our platform card, one of our main initiatives is to expand the Safe Zone program. Diversity is a huge part of our campus. We want to protect the rights of every demographic and every minority on campus. We're going to expand that program, make sure that all our student government representatives are Safe Zone trained, so that students who might feel harassed or bullied or discriminated against can not only go to teachers and professors' offices, but can come straight to the student government offices. We'll have a sticker on our office, and you walk in, and we've been trained to help you with those problems, because again, we're here to serve the students' needs.
Cody is absolutely right. You got to look at the root of problems sometimes, and sometimes we're at the root of this problem is safety. You know, students, if they don't feel safe, then we're going to have an issue with the gun problem. So right now we need to really look at the safety and exactly spreading the Safe Zone program.
Sorry. We actually agree with the Eagle Party on this in the sense that we as individuals may have our own opinions, but as an overall stance, we feel as though it's important to do only what the students want. So in this case, before we took a stance on this as a university, we would want to do a referendum or something like that that understood exactly how the students felt on this before we proposed legislation that disagreed or agreed with it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Alright, these next three questions are from the Eagle News website. They do not represent Eagle News opinion, and they have not been edited. They're from students. This first one is for both parties. It's from Tom Martin, a senior majoring in political science. What are your personal political beliefs, and how have those influenced your platforms, and how will it influence your time in office, starting with the Focus Party?
Okay. Personal political beliefs. Democratic, don't get offended. Democratic for the most part, but I do have many some conservative views. I think our platform itself is about giving certain needs to the students. So usually that's usually has a mindset of more liberal thoughts. So I mean, like along those lines, I would say that has influenced my decision making when putting forth my platform from the students.
I'm not personally registered with a political party. I'm registered with no political affiliation, but I prefer to describe myself as socially liberal and fiscally responsible. I feel as though it's our job to support everyone's beliefs and everyone's personal opinions, but at the same time conserve ourselves enough that we aren't spending money on programs that we don't need. So I feel as though our personal opinions here, and this is why Justin and I make such a good team, is because we kind of counteract each other in certain senses, and so we can work with each other to promote students' needs. So I feel as though our personal political beliefs have transformed our platform into be something that is accepting for all students. It's something that all students want to see. And as far as fiscally responsible, we want to be able to take our platform items and use the university as as support to work on our platform items so that student government isn't always footing the bill for everything that we do. So I think that that's the main thing that has transformed our platform into something that is socially liberal, but at the same time fiscally responsible.
I'm more on the independent side. I like to be well informed. But I gotta say, this is completely irrelevant to our platform card because everything on here, all of our initiatives come from the students. It has nothing to do with my personal beliefs. We didn't try to make our initiative, our platform and initiatives to fit and mold the students. These came from the students. They shaped what we stand for. They shaped the kind of administration that we're going to be, and they shaped every single thing on this card right here because we're working for the Eagles. You know, it has nothing to do with my personal beliefs.
Thank you, Jordan. I agree with Jordan. I'll say personally, I was raised in a conservative home. I am not registered with a political party either. I also like to say independent, be informed, and make decisions based on the situation. That's it.
All right, the next two questions are actually the same question, just from two different students. The first student was Jen Joyce, a senior majoring in health science, and the second student was Kara McDowell, a sophomore majoring in communication. And they both asked, if you could pick only two things to complete on your platform, what would they be? Starting with the Eagle Party first.
The one that I really enjoy on here is opening a farmer's market on campus. Something I do is What You Want Wednesday. I'm sure a lot of you know about it, but I pick up students, I talk to students that are doing this. It's something I wanted to do to really revamp the image of student government. And I overwhelmingly hear it from freshman students, not just freshmen, but mainly freshmen that don't have cars. It's difficult to go to Target or to Publix and bring back groceries and be able to eat healthy on campus. It's really difficult for them. And since we're such an environmentally friendly school, why not have a real farmer's market at least one day a week where they can come pick up fresh produce, locally grown, and really, number one, support our mission at the school and then provide something for the students. Working with Aramark is very difficult. At first I didn't think it was going to be possible, but after talking with and working with administration, not for administration, there are some loopholes and there are some ways to get this accomplished.
Thank you, Jordan. I'm not a fan of this question because our platform card, we intentionally put check boxes next to all our initiatives because that's what we're going to do. This is going to be a checklist when we get into office of what we're going to do. But I will answer the question. I would say Gulfline. We put second on here to fix class registration on Gulfline. And this has been on platform cards for the past 3 and 4 years. The people who have been in student government, the student government regulars, if I will, it's been on there and it's still not fixed. Jordan sits on the technology committee at the university that oversees and manages the capacity for Eagle Mail, which gets filled up often in my case, and Gulfline. So she knows how to fix this and the people to go to and what needs to be done. It's not impossible to do. It's going to cost some money. We will spend the money because this affects every single student at our university.
Just as the Eagle Party said, we want to accomplish all of the goals on our platform. This isn't something that we did that we only want to select two, but if we had to, my personal first and foremost thing is to host monthly town hall meetings. I know that this is kind of a smaller platform initiative, but it has been something that's been on the platform for the past few years and hasn't been able to be accomplished. And this is something that we as the Focus Party really want to focus on, is bridging the gap between students and student government. What does it matter the things that we're doing if we're not telling you what we're doing and we're not informing you on what we're doing? We want you to know what we're doing for you, and we want you to tell us what you want us to do. So we want to host these monthly town hall meetings. That is first and foremost on my agenda, which we're actually hosting a town hall meeting from the Focus Party Thursday at 12:30 in the Student Plaza because we want to hear what you guys want us to do for you. So that is my first and foremost goal, is to host these monthly town hall meetings so you guys can stay informed and you can tell us what you want to see.
I would say one of our second goals, we talk about creating this college environment. So in addition to our goals of making sure our Eagle dollars and Eagle ID are accessible in Gulf Coast Town Center, we will create and en route with Lead Tran assistance, a late night shuttle that will provide safe transportation to students to and from local nightlife spots to ensure that our students, our Eagles, are safe during their nightly festivities.
All right, that concludes all of our questions. If there's any questions in the audience, now's the time to ask.
Hi, I have a question for both parties. I know you're both involved in student government currently, and you both kind of mentioned things that have previously been on platforms, golf line, town hall meetings. As someone who's director of communication and someone who's Senate president, why haven't those been accomplished if it seems like something that you would be able to do?
Can you please start with the focus party?
A lot of the, you guys hear? Okay. A lot of the platform initiatives are sometimes forgotten about in the midst of the year. And so that's why we decided to name our party the Focus Party, because we're going to stay focused on our platform. We're not going to deviate from that. That's what we want to accomplish this year while we are student government representatives. And we're going to stay focused on that. And I think that sometimes maybe they haven't been accomplished, these goals haven't been accomplished because certain things are lost sight of, and people do lose track of things, and we aren't focused on the goal, which is the students.
As the director of communications, it's my job to really reach out to the students and find out what they want, which is why I created the program What You Want Wednesday. I'm only one person. A lot of times people will, once they go through elections and they get into office, they think that's it. They did all their hard work. That's not it. This is a lot of hard work, I'm not going to lie, to do a campaign, but it just started. When I get into office, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to work even 10 times harder than I am right now, that I'm dedicated, and that's what I'm going to do, because you can't lose the idea of why you're there. But unfortunately, in the executive branch, for example, coordinator positions, they're just not filled. There's not enough people working towards these goals. Why that might be? Some people say that student government's very closely knit, but we're not marketing to enough students. We're not informing them of what positions are available. We need to reach out to them and talk to them more, getting those freshmen involved. Right now we have a program with Emerging Eagles, but we need to find a better transition to those students that are coming in from high school, from freshmen, and moving them up in a transition period into leadership roles for student government if that's what they want to do. Educate them so they come in right away and we don't lose the strong potential of a freshman that could potentially be a student leader on campus, because right now we don't have enough student leaders really working. You don't need to be a student leader to voice your opinion. Any average student can sit there and voice their opinion, but you need to make sure that you're reaching out to them and making sure that you're finding out what they need so you can represent them.
Thank you, Jordan. As I stated earlier, I'm very new to student government, just a recent senator for the College of Business, which again, I like. I think that I'm going to bring a fresh perspective to student government. And I'm drawing a blank here on what I was going to say. If I remember, I'll tell you guys later.
Are there any other questions? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Colby Berg, political science major. My question is, during the elections, when students go to vote, why should students trust you over the other party? And I guess what kind of perspective and what is your take on your position? Why is your point of view helping you relate to students better than yours?
Starting with the Eagle Party.
I'll start simply because I just remembered what I was going to say before. And that was that being new to student government, I obviously am disappointed that things like this have happened in the past where promises have been made in campaigns and not followed through. But as I said before, I think it's very important to start and continue in student government is whatever your initiatives are, you're obligated to do those because you promised that to the students. This is what the students want. If you're telling them you can do it, you better do it.
My job is to talk to the students. That is what being the director of communication does. I want you to know that you can put trust in that I'm not going to sit in an office. When I become elected, I'm going to make sure that What You Want Wednesday continues. I had the luxury of taking our President Diaz out on What You Want Wednesday, and it was so sad how many students didn't know who she was. A lot of people did, but a lot of people had no idea who our current student body president was. We need to get out of the office, get on campus, talk to the students. Not just the senators, not just the coordinators, the president needs to be out there. We did a great job, we have lunches for President Bradshaw now, which is wonderful, but little things like that, just to reach out to the students, show that we're friendly faces. You can trust me because I'm going to be out there talking to you. I'm going to be shaking your hands, I'm going to be communicating, not sending you emails, not little things to put on your bulletin boards, and actually physically having a conversation with you. And that's what students want. That's what students really need, is someone they can come up and talk to and voice their opinions candidly and openly.
When students go into the voting box or ballot, they fill out their ballot next week, we want them to check focus because we want them to know that they can trust us and that all of our platform initiatives will be completed, and they can trust us personally and professionally. We want them to know that we're going to stay focused on them. We will constantly be informed with the students, involved with the students, be with the students, working with the students to make our university better. We are a student government. We're here for the students, and we want them to know that when they check off focus in that box, that we are going to stay focused on them and their ideas and what they want.
In addition to that, like I previously mentioned, I've had an opportunity to serve the students of this university in many facets. I've done it well, and I do believe that when elected to president and vice president of our institution, I will continue to do that well, and I've proven that over my involvement in time here at FGCU.
I'm going to go ahead and give him a mic, and then we can just pass it around.
Well, I have two questions. Actually, the first question goes to the Focus Party. As the Eagle Party, you guys answered the question when asked the weakest item on the platform. And although I want more of a direct answer, what's your weakest, what do you think is the weakest platform item on their ticket?
I already said, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to attack my opponent's platform. We don't have to attack them to build ourselves up. If our mission is to stay focused on the students, me attacking my opponent isn't helping that whatsoever. So I want you guys to know that the reason that I'm not answering this question is because I don't feel like it's relevant. I don't feel like I need to attack them to tell the students why we're here and why we're staying focused as a party.
I understand what you're doing with that. The next question would be, for the commuter students, what are the steps that we're going to take to reach out to the commuter students? The majority of the students here are commuter students.
For both parties?
That's a great question. Something on our extended platform card. I am working within the cabinet right now as the Director of Communications, and a position that I really, really want to put in there is the Director of Non-Traditional commuter students. We have a huge population of non-traditional commuter students on campus. I myself am a commuter student. A lot of people on our Senate are commuter students. And the programming that we currently have on campus is really focused to students that live here or live within the 5-mile radius, which is great and wonderful, but we need to make sure that we're representing all students, including commuter and non-traditional students. That 35-year-old dad that's coming back to get a few classes, we represent him. That grad student, we represent that student too. We represent every student on campus, not just the freshman that lives over in Biscayne. So we make sure our programming is geared to everyone. We've got to make sure we have that representative within the executive branch that is focused mainly on that type of student.
In addition, our platform card states that we're going to oppose block tuition. Block tuition, for those of you who don't know, is a system under which a university would charge students not per credit hour, but they would charge them for 15 credit hours every semester regardless of how many classes they take. Our state has approved it, and now it's open to universities to bring a proposal to the state. Our university is not currently pursuing it, but we will oppose block tuition simply because it eliminates the ability to customize your education. For example, our commuter students are often full-time workers, simply cannot take 15 credit hours, so why should they have to pay for all of them? And we will oppose block tuition as the Eagle Party.
We actually had several items on our platform geared towards commuter students, but we had to cut some of them because we didn't have enough room. So I'm going to explain them to you right now. One of the things we wanted to do was create programs create programs that are geared towards commuter students, like providing them with breakfast once a month. You know, they sometimes have long drives. I myself am a commuter student, not from very far, but my family lives in Naples, so I understand what it's like to have to drive 30 minutes to an hour every day to get to campus. And we want to provide these students with the resources that they need to feel like, even though they're coming from afar, FGCU is still their home. And providing breakfast for them, and also advocating for them for more parking spaces. We want to advocate for more parking garages on campus that provides commuter students with places that they feel like they can park. I know that parking is an issue here, and we want to be able to fix that issue. So we want to gear a lot of our efforts towards commuter students so that they feel, like we said, we want to create a college community here. And commuter students should be able to feel like they're a part of that college community. So we're going to do the best that we can to advocate for commuter students as well.
I'm going to go here, and Andrew, and then Joey here, and then...
Hi. Big thing I've been noticing is that freshmen are having trouble getting involved. Do you guys have a plan to inform freshmen about what you're doing and how to get involved?
That's first, right? Okay. One of the main things that we want to do is revamp the leadership development program within student government. This Emerging Eagles program has been developed over the years but has kind of fallen off. I personally attended the graduation this year, and there were only a few students who graduated from the program. I can personally say that a lot of my leadership involvement comes from being involved as a freshman. When you develop those skills as a freshman, you're able to carry them out through your college years. So the first thing that we want to do is revamp that program so that the students, the younger students, feel like they can also be involved. And we want to inform them on the ways that they can get involved, not just student government. We want them to know that they can get involved in all areas of campus, whether it be Greek life, RA, orientation leader, housing, anything that they can do, they can be involved as freshmen. They can be just involved as seniors if they put the effort forward. So we want to provide those resources for them to be able to be involved.
In addition to that, we have many students on our senatorial list who are committed to making sure the first year experience is among its best for our Eagles. I'm not sure if many of you know Christina Vega, but she's in the process of working with housing to create a leadership development program within South Village that will supplement Emerging Eagles, but promote that campus involvement, that leadership development that is essential for students to be successful here at FGCU. So we are committed as the Focus Party to make sure that our freshmen and transfers alike and anyone who wants to be a part of this experience and involved at FGCU, that it is open and available to them.
This is a great question, a great issue that we're working on. This is one of the first years that you go around and talk to freshmen and they say this is their first choice school. This is amazing, this is wonderful. Students want to come to FGCU, we're growing, it's great. But we need to start right off the bat or we're gonna lose these freshmen and energy. We gotta get these energetic freshmen. A program that we were gonna start with working with our leadership development is to potentially bring local seniors that are in high school that are in their student government, bring them on campus for a day to come hang out with these student government representatives and learn from us. Number one, you're reaching out to the community, which is something FGCU needs to continue with and expand upon, and you're getting potential Eagles to come on campus. If they do come, you can put them right into the leadership development program and get them on a fast track into becoming a proud Eagle at FGCU. Right off the bat, then orientation. I remember my orientation. I met the student government president and vice president the very first day. They got you excited. They start talking about school spirit, the school song, all these crazy things. And over the last few years, it's really gone down. Our student government is not involved in orientation like they should be, and I feel like they need to have a very strong hand when it comes to orientation and shaping the freshmen's the first year and their very first experience, because that's when they first get here, orientation. If you're not talking to them right off the bat and getting them pumped up, then you're going to lose them. Because then they're going to come on the first week of school, they're going to be focusing on their classes, what's going on. You need to talk to them right away, get them informed on how to get involved, and keep them that school spirit up right with that.
Thank you, Jordan. Just one more thing. I know that a lot of freshmen I've talked to today, particularly, I've asked them what is their experience with student government, have they been exposed to student government at all, and their answer is no. We have no idea what's going on. So with our town hall meetings, we're going to do them on the library lawn. We're also going to take them to freshman housing, so freshmen will see student government and will know what we're doing and have their opinions voiced.
All right, I know how important it is for, to have a really personal working relationship with each other. So I was wondering, for both parties, what's your personal work experience with each other? Start with the Eagle Party.
Previous. Sorry. Jordan and I have worked together in student government. She is a director in the executive branch. I'm a senator in the legislative branch, which again is, as we spoke about earlier, vital to the success of student government is multiple branches working together. But I think it's good to know, and it's kind of why we picked each other for this, is that I'm very down to earth, calm, I guess maybe level-headed person. As you can see, Jordan here is very bubbly and excited and passionate, and I think that we balance each other out really nicely. We have ideas and we have reality, and we try and get as many possible opinions on a subject or an issue, because the more people's opinions we have, the better the final result's going to be.
I completely agree. We balance each other out great. I am that bubbly person. I do have those grand ideas. I'm very curious, and I'm very optimistic. I would never say naive, but always optimistic to get things done. And Cody always is the realist, but he keeps me grounded. He really does, and he's wonderful. And I have a great working relationship with him. And I think the fact that we're not identical actually is a benefit for the students. You don't want two people in there that share exactly the same ideas, because then you're not coming up with solutions to problems the same way that you could be. We have the opportunity now to come up with even better ideas because we can bounce off back from each other.
I met Justin my freshman year through the Emerging Eagles program, and Jennifer Espinoza was our Director of Leadership Development, and she's actually running on our ticket as a graduate student now. But I remember her standing there saying, "Oh, the future student body president could be sitting in this room." And Justin raised his hand and he was like, "This guy." And I said to myself, "Who does this guy think he is?" And it's just so ironic that this is how things have turned out for us. Justin and I have a great working relationship. We've been working together for years. Justin currently serves as the University Relations Chair underneath me as Senate President, and I think that we've shown that we can really work well together. I think that what makes us special is that we have a mutual respect for each other, and we understand that we may argue and we may want to we don't always agree on things. We have different opinions, but that's what makes us better. That's what gives us chemistry as a student body president and vice president, that we can agree to disagree and that we can work together. We're yin and yang. We can balance each other out. We can work together to create a better environment for the students.
And to add to all that, like I said, I've had an opportunity of working with Lauren for a very long time. She's a special young lady, and I respect her very much. And if I didn't feel that she or I would make a great team and could do this job, then we wouldn't be standing before you. So my confidence in her ability to lead our institution at a local level as well as a state level, I know that we'll make an awesome duo when it comes to running our executive cabinet and office for our students at FGCU.
Joey.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My question refers to the platform. Could you discuss a little bit about your platform items in terms of their feasibility and logistical longevity, and how you basically will you be able to? Do you think you'll be able to complete them during your as president and vice president?
When Justin and I sat down to create this platform, we didn't just create it ourselves. We created it with the entire student body and with our party, because we wanted this to be a platform that we knew that as a party we could accomplish within the next year. So yes, Mr. Russo, I do think that this is a platform that we can accomplish. And in terms of feasibility, we made it our mission to promise nothing that we couldn't accomplish. So all of these platform items have been discussed with administration, have been planned out. We have plans for all these things. These aren't just ideas, they're thought out ideas. And we promise that we will accomplish these things that we say that we're going to do. And it's part of being an accountable leader, and we know that our platform items are feasible, and it's our job to be accountable to the students and make sure that these are accomplished within our year as student body president and vice president.
Again, these are not our initiatives. These are the students. These are the EAGLE initiatives. These are what they want us to do. And the administration might tell us no 1,000 times, and we're going to keep saying yes. That is not our job, is to submit to them. But I will tell you that the reason why there's only the 15 on here is because these are the top ones, and we know that we can get them done. We didn't spread ourselves too thin. We made sure we picked the top ones, and we figured out how to plan, how to get them done. We have a how-to plan for each and every one of them, and there's check boxes in each one, because we plan on accomplishing every single one of these. We want to sit here and we want to check them off through the year, because it's something that our current administration says all the time. You know, they don't feel like they completed their year until they've accomplished every single initiative. And working in the cabinet, that's been my goal all year, is making sure that we accomplish every single initiative. That's what I do on a day-to-day basis, and that's the kind of worker that I am, and that's kind of the administration that we're going to be working for. That is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be checking every single one of these off, and we have a plan for each and every one of them.
Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I agree, obviously, and I'd have to say we wanted to make sure that we didn't promise anything that we could not fulfill. You'll notice that as far as bringing back a sports bar to campus, we want to initiate a feasibility study, because in reality, we just went through an expansion of our dining options. Having a sports bar on campus by the end of our term is not realistic, and we didn't want to promise it. Furthermore, I want a 24-hour 24-hour library. The students want a 24-hour library, but again, frankly, it's most likely not going to happen in the next year. So we're going to advocate for a 24-hour library, and in the meantime, we're going to extend library hours further, offer a 24-hour study lounge that actually has resources that students can use, like printers and computers, and we're going to have quiet zones so students can actually get things done in the library.
It's right in front, right? Sorry.
Actually, Joey stole my question, but if I could just have you elaborate a bit. You said you find all these platform ideas feasible within the next school year. Well, where realistically would the funding for such things as the amphitheater or the bee sanctuary, would this include a hike in tuition costs? Like, realistically, where do you expect to find the capital for this?
We have worked very hard on this platform, and we have made sure that these things are feasible. We didn't just put things on here. Like I said earlier, we worked with administration to make sure that these were feasible, because we didn't want to promise anything that we couldn't deliver. As far as funding goes, we made sure that this is something that we could accomplish. And like I said earlier, we have plans for these things, and we've looked into costs of them, and the costs of them are not that elaborate if we are fiscally responsible in building them and doing the things that we want to do. Also, we want to pair with other parts of the university. Student government shouldn't have to constantly be footing the bill for the things that we're doing. I know that we paid for things that administration has asked us to pay for, but we want us to pay for student initiatives, and we want to work with the administration to help us fund these things. We can't, as student government alone, fund everything on our platform, so we want to work with outside sources to help fund these things. So like, for example, for the amphitheater, we want to work with other areas of campus that will also be able to use it to help fund things like that.
There's someone right back there. There's no one there. Okay. Then Anthony.
Whatever, I'm projecting. For the golf line initiative, what do you plan on changing? Because I know they just changed the way how we're doing my credit hours, so what do you further plan on changing, I guess?
Well, something that I've been working on for the last year, sitting the IRC committee, is finding a way to create a student portal, which I don't know if anyone's attended a different university or looked at other universities, but what it would have would be your EAGLE email, your Angel, and your golf line all in one spot when you log on. Creating a server for that, and yes, we have to spend a little bit of money creating the server for that, and expanding space. But that is probably going to be the best thing for our students, and it's going to work a lot faster, and it's going to be an amazing thing. That's what most consistently all normal universities have, and it works for them. It's just whether or not we have the funding. Actually, the funding isn't actually the main part. It's that we're lacking resources right now for the people that work in the IT department and the space, and they need to have that figured out before we can actually reboot and recreate these type of system. That's the current, internal issues that are going on with the university, and they need to solve those, which we're working on right now, so that in the next upcoming months, if it is possible, we can fund this and we can make this happen for the students next year.
And furthermore, because I know the chief issue is class registration, Jordan mentioned purchasing a larger server that can hold a large capacity when students are registering. It's also about expanding our network on campus because midnight at class registration, every student who's on campus goes on the same network to go to Gulfline and register for classes. And that's why the network crashes and the server crashes. So it's a twofold approach to fixing this class registration issue.
This question is for both candidates on both parties. I just wanted to, if you could please share your experience and knowledge of what the daily duties and responsibilities are of the position that you're running for, and why you would be the best candidate for this.
I have had an incredible opportunity to be Student Senate President for the past few months, or the past 7 months, but I feel as though that has more than prepared me for this position. I know what it takes to lead a branch of government. I know what it takes to lead a university. I am representing the Senate on so many different levels, and as far as the student body president's daily responsibilities, I've been able to understand the responsibilities that President Diaz does day in and day out, and I know that I can handle them and I can accomplish them. And I also know that a large part of the student body president's responsibilities are external, and the vice president deals with internal responsibilities. So in terms of external responsibilities, I have been so blessed to have been able to watch President Diaz in her weekly and daily duties, and I know that in terms of the Florida Student Association, the Board of Governors, the Board of Trustees, I have been to every single one of those meetings since I've been Student Senate President, and I know what it takes to represent this university and every single one of our students on an external level, and I know that I can accomplish those.
And likewise, I've had an opportunity to join the current administration in many meetings. I understand my role as Vice President will be to ensure the Executive Cabinet is functioning well, to ensure that my directors are equipped to program, to market, to communicate, to work with athletics, to work with multicultural relations. I understand that it is my job to support them in their efforts, make sure things are done in a orderly fashion. But I do believe my experience and my previous involvements have given me the tools that will make me a successful vice president of our institution. In addition, I will be prepared to step up as being president.
The number one thing for me to being the president is to always be professional and assertive, but never forgetting that you're a student. That's something that I think is really important as being the president of our student body, is that you're representing the Eagles. As the role of the president, you're working with the outside voice. As stated earlier, I do plan on running for chair of FSA because it is important that smaller schools such as FGCU step up and say, hey, we can rival with UF, some of the larger schools on campus. But it is my job to work well with administration, which currently, as the Director of Communications, my department works very closely with the President, Vice President, and Chief of Staff, making sure that their initiatives are voiced. So I work with them very, very closely. I work with 36 different university committees, and making sure that I have that connection with administration, which I think is a very, very key point with being president, because if you're going to implement initiatives on your card, you need to know exactly how to do it, who to talk to. It's those connections that you make to make sure that you're actually representing the students.
Thank you, Jordan. And the Focus Party did explain the daily duties of President, Vice President fairly well. Again, internal, external. For the most part, I'll be overseeing the cabinet, ensuring that everything on this card and on our extended platform gets done, and equipping them to do so, and supporting them when they need it. I think it's important to remember when entering a position like this, and when choosing somebody for this position, that a title does not dictate experience necessarily, and experience certainly doesn't dictate leadership. You need to be a very informed voter, get to know the people who are going to be representing you, because we are your voice, but we are just, the Eagle Party is just a collection of students who are passionate about what this university is doing, and making sure that the students' voices are heard and not suppressed.
I just have a question based on the campus rec fee resolution. Based on a couple of weeks, we have been working, actually we've been working on this as student government for a year now, and in the past couple of days some things have happened, and I know that the next administration will definitely have to take on a lot of the different things. So what do you think is the next step for student government to do?
We are aware of this, and we're going to continue to push forward with it. As student government representatives, this is what the students want, and you cannot give up on it simply because administration or there was a roadblock in the way. You know, Rick Scott did put a building hold to prevent expansion with the rec center, and that's obviously directly affecting this right now. But you do not give up. That is not our job. Our job is to continue to push forward, continue to work with the Eagles, for the Eagles.
And again, as Jordan said, some of you may not know, the Student Senate approved a resolution to add a small fee on the tuition to build a rec center for students, and that fee was passed in Senate and failed in the Board of Governors. And it may or may not be due in part to the governor's stance on expanding building construction on campuses. Nevertheless, as we've stated and as we will state as the Eagle Party, roadblocks are just that. They're only roadblocks. We will find out how to get over them, get around them. Campus recreation and athletics are vital to this university and its growth, and we're going to constantly push for that while we're in office.
Our current administration worked very hard on getting this campus recreation fee passed, and I know that our Senate worked very hard on supporting a resolution for this. And this is something that the Focus Party does support. The fee actually did not fail in the Board of Governors. It was removed from the agenda altogether. So, what I believe the most important step right now is making sure that campus recreation and the sports clubs get their funding for next year, because this campus recreation fee was also going to provide them with that. So first and foremost, we need to make sure that these students for these organizations and campus recreation get their money to function properly next year, which I know is something that our Senate is working on right now. And also, the next step after that, I'm going to give you the following step, not just the first step, is to make sure that we are currently advocating for what the students want. We created this campus recreation fee because we knew that the students wanted a new recreation center. So the Focus Party is going to continue to vouch for this recreation center, and we are going to find a way to do it. Failure is not a word that we are going to accept in our vocabulary, and we're going to find a way to build the students a new recreation center, no matter how we have to do it.
Are there any other questions? Alrighty, let's adjourn the 2011 presidential and vice presidential.